Seriously? Hey guys, and welcome to another Orc Tactics video with myself, 6+ Stevo. In this one, we are taking a look at the Gretchin. In the last couple of videos, guys, we looked at Orc Boyz and then we looked at Snagger Boyz. If you check the link in the description, you should find a link to the playlist, or you should find links to them videos at the end, or they might even be popping up in the corners. But yeah, this is a whole playlist of videos I'm going to be doing, going through each of these index cards, giving my thoughts on them and sharing some sort of tactical options and things and how we might use them. So in the last ones, we went over the battle line stuff. In this one, we've got what a lot of people are arguing should be battle line, but they are not. Which means, unfortunately, you can only have 3 units of grots, which is a real shame. That is a real shame, especially for people wanting to do grot-themed lists. But there is, although that's bad news, there is so much good news with these, because my word, they have done a wondrous job with grots now. Yeah, grots are... they're the new hotness, I've got to say. Grots are amazing now. So let's take a look at them, shall we? They have a movement of 6. They have a toughness of 2. They have a measly 7+ save. They have 1 wound, a leadership of 8+, and an objective control of 2. The runt herd has a toughness of 5. He has a save of 5+. He has 2 wounds, 7+ leadership, and an objective control of 1. So with the new battle shock rules and things, these guys are a lot more resilient than they used to be. They used to crumble in 9th edition and every other edition before that, actually, on leadership tests. But now with that runt herd in there, as long as he's still alive with that leadership of 7, they're just as brave as boys. So yeah, they they used to have like a leadership of like 4+ or whatever in the old edition. I know the leadership worked differently then, but yeah, they're a lot braver now, and they've got some lovely special rules. They still come with the Grot blaster hitting on 4+ with a strength of 3. Nothing much has changed there, but obviously they've got that ballistic skill of 4+, which makes them a lot more accurate, but the weapons are pretty weak and feeble. But you'll be surprised, them Grot blasters do pick off the odd target here and there. The runt herd has the slugger, and can we just say as well, runt herds, wow, finally they have a use again. Oh, thank God. The last couple of editions, runt herds have been ridiculously costed. Like, just insane. The points they were charging for runt herds were just utterly ludicrous. So no one used them. In fact, you go on any Orc Facebook group or Instagram or anything, and all you saw people doing with their runt herds was turning them into weird boys, because they had to find some use for this awesome model. But yeah, they didn't see much action on the tabletop because they were ridiculously costed for what they did. But now the whole unit costs 45 points. So you're looking at 4 points a grot and then 5 points for the runt herd. At least that's how I think it probably works out, which is a very fair cost. 45 points for this unit is an absolute bargain. But why? But why is it so good? The stats don't mean much, they're not much other than a little chaff unit that's just there to get a shot off the board. Well, they have some very important uses. So we've got some special rules and abilities. We'll look at the runt herd. While this unit contains 1 or more Gretchin models, each time a ranged attack targets this unit, runt herd models in this unit have a toughness characteristic of 2. Now, listen, guys, I've seen a lot of chat online about people saying, well, that's just, from ranged attacks. So in melee, the unit counts as toughness 5. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if that is the rule as written, and that is how it goes. I don't play it like that, because quite frankly, I think that's utterly ludicrous. I don't care if it's advantageous to me. Advantageous? Advantageous. I don't care if it's in my benefit to do that. I think it's incredibly beardy and clearly not rule as intended So even if that is the correct way of doing it, I will simply refuse to do that. My grots are toughness 2 because it would just be ludicrous to make them toughness 5. I just think that's utterly mental and not in the spirit of the game. But feel free to disagree with me. Let me know in the comments. But anyway, we don't want to get into all that meta beardy nonsense. Let's move on to something far more fun. Their special rule, Thieving Scavengers. At the start of your command phase, roll 1d6 for each objective marker you control that has one or more units from your army with this ability within range of it. If one or more of those rolls is a 4+, you gain 1 CP. That is absolutely beautiful special rule. It's really fluffy. I absolutely love it because that is grots, you know, thieving scavengers. That's what they're going to do. Generally, what a lot of us use our grots for is just holding objectives so the boys can get stuck in. And now that they've really been tailor-made for this purpose, because now they can farm you some extra CP. And with 10th edition, meaning giving us less CP, I mean, we start the game with none and then we just gain basically 1 CP per player turn. This is a great way to be able to get a few extras. Now, it does cap it at 1. You can only gain 1 CP, but you do have multiple chances to get that. So you know, if you've got a few units of grots on different objectives, you can, you know, roll several times. It's a 4+, you've got a 50-50 shot. But if you're holding a couple of objectives with these units, then that just increases your chances more. And it's an absolutely lovely little ability because CP is hard to get hold of in 10th. So any way you can gain some extra CP is an absolute win. And for a 45-point unit, absolutely amazing. Really, really cool. We'll turn around and look at the back of the card. So now they have, you can have 10 to 20 grots. So you can't have 30 grots anymore, much like the Boyz. And they come with a runt herd now, built in. I find it a little bit disappointing that the runt herd has to be there. I mean, I'm really pleased that the runt herd is costed fairly, and I'm really pleased that the runt herd is good and serves a purpose, and it's great to see them on the table again. But it's a little bit annoying that they are compulsory now, to the point where if you have 20 grots, you have to have 2 runt herds, which is a bit, but you know what? I would rather have them as a compulsory choice than have them as a completely pointless choice as they were before. So yeah, I think overall it's a positive thing. But yeah, I've got a feeling that in writing these rules, Games Workshop kind of knew how good they were making grots, and this is probably why they are no longer battle line. It seems like GW really want and trying to encourage players to field lots of boys on the table and build that sort of traditional sort of orc list with its core being loads and loads of boys, which is cool. And look, 3 mobs of 20 grots, that's going to do you some pretty good in the game, and that's still 60 grots on the table. So yeah, but honestly guys, I've played with and against these guys on the table, and they are absolutely fantastic. In fact, as you'll see as we go through these videos looking at all these different units, a lot of the grot units did really well this edition, and hopefully that stays when we get the codex. But as well as a runt herd, we can do something else to this unit. We can add another character to this unit, a very, very special character, which we will get to in due course. But for now, let's just take a quick look at what he does. Zodgrod Wartsnagger. So this guy, he does something fantastic. He has the ability Super Runts. So while this model is leading a unit, models in that unit have the Scout's 9-inch ability. So that means they get the Scout move, so they get a free move before the game starts, which is astoundingly good. That's a really, really useful ability, especially if you really want to get them on objective and start farming those CP. It also does, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the wound roll. I mean, that's That's mind-blowingly good. That's really, really good. Suddenly your really weak, feeble grots are now posing a quite significant threat to most things. Because a +1 to hit and a +1 to wound, yeah, that's making a huge, huge difference to how effective they are on the table. Even coming up against other Boyz and stuff, they're suddenly posing a significant threat. And for such a cheap unit, yeah, he really buffs them nicely. These really are super runts. But it doesn't stop there. Each time an attack targets that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So now he's just making them more skillful in combat, stronger in combat, and tougher. So yeah, a win-win all round. And it doesn't stop there, because he does even more. He's got the special rule, special dose. When you call a war, until the start of the next battle round, add 6 inches to the move characteristics of models in this model's unit. So suddenly, Zodgrod here and his super runts are moving 12 inches. And remember, during a war, you can advance and charge as well. So like, they can scout before the game starts. During the war, they can move 12 inches, which they can advance to add on to that as well. And then they can charge. And then when they get into combat, they're +1 to hit. They're +1 to wound. They are -1 to wound when being attacked. Like, yeah. I think if you've got a lot of grots, Zodgrod is pretty much an auto include. Now it depends. If you're just running small mobs and things and you just want them as a cheap unit to hold rear objectives and that, he may not be worth it. But yeah, we will take a proper look at Zodgrod in the future. But yeah, grots are good. Grots are really good. They've got that nice objective control too. They're braver than they've ever been. The save still sucks. The fact that the save is a 7+. I don't know why they couldn't just made the save a 6+, to be fair. I think Grot should just have a 6+ save. 7+ feels a bit tight, because, I don't know, they've got little bits of armour. Well, some of them have. To be fair, a lot of them are wearing nothing more than boots and a loincloth. So I guess, you know, a loincloth isn't going to protect you from much, is it? So, all right, well, I don't know. But you've got the odd helmet and shoulder pad and things in it that they've scavenged. I don't know. Maybe 7+ is all right. But yeah, guys, what do you think of Grots? Personally, I think they're one of the big winners from Index Orks. I think they're an absolutely fantastic unit. One of the best in the whole Index, in my opinion. I think the only real downside with Grots now is the fact that they're not battle line. But they've still got a really good objective control. So if you've got large mobs of them, I think they're going to farm your CP. They're going to win you victory points, and yeah, they're going to do some nasty stuff. They're going to surprise your opponent. So yeah, guys, how are you using your grots? Have you used them yet on the table? Have you used Zodgrod Wartsnagger? And is he just ridiculously overpowered? I don't know. He's ridiculously good, I'd know that much. But yeah, share your thoughts below, guys. Let me know, do you think Grots should be battle line? Or do you think they're just now too good to be battle line? Because 6 units of 20 of these might really ruin your opponent's day. I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Until the next one. Oh, what are we going to do on the next one? I don't know. What are we going to do? We've done battle line. We've done a lot of our typical infantry. Where should I go next? What unit should we do next? I tell you what. How about... I'm just having a look through the cards now. Next up, let's do... Tell you what. On the next one, let's do one of the controversial units from this. One of my old favourites. In the next video, that's going to be an interesting one. We're going to do these. The Tank Busters. Join me on the next one, guys. This is 6+ Stevo, signing out.